Hello, everyone, and welcome to week one of the PBO. I am Coach Void, coach of the Pittsburgh Scissors. And in today's video, we will be bringing you the team builder against the Sunnyside Suicunes. So we're going to go ahead and kind of get straight into things. We're going to cover my opponent's team, what I think they might be bringing, and then we'll go over our team and what we're bringing this week. So getting right into things, they have a Garganackle, Cresselia, Sylveon, Weezing, Lilligant, Cinder, Ace, Tinglu, Bellybolt, Bombardier, Articuno, and Fion on their team. Their Terra captain is that Cresselia, rocking Terra Psychic, Terra Fairy, or Terra Electric. So we're gonna go ahead and get into things. Garganackle, I think has to come this week. It's super bulky on the physical side. It gets up rock surface pretty reliably, and it can also pretty much kind of recover off any damage it gets. From there, Cress, I have a feeling might come Terra Electric just as a way to not get walled by Corviknight, because Corviknight kind of just sits on it otherwise. Sylveon, I don't think has the best matchup this week. Again, gets walled by Corviknight. You can't really do anything back to it. It can like wish Baton Pass support for the rest of the team. But I also have other ways to deal with it too besides Corv. Weezing is a potential bring for sure. I think neutralizing gas for like taking hits for from Lycanroc a little bit better could be kind of good. Or to stop like a Harvest Trevenant set, could be a little bit interesting. Also prevents me from getting up T-Spikes. If it does bring Levitate, it is a lot easier for my team to handle. Just because the only real thing that's turning it from the ground type side is Mamoswine, and I could probably deal with it otherwise. But overall, super physically bulky. Doesn't get reliable recovery outside of like Black Sludge. Lilligant, I don't really see bringing. Lilligant kind of struggles from its move pool for the most part, and without like being a Terra captain, being able to run like Terra Blast for coverage kind of whittles it down, or like doesn't help it at all. And Sapsipper Guja can kind of just sit on it. But it can be very scary if not taken care of, especially with Curve Dances being able to raise its speed and everything like that. Cinder Ace, I think, is a must bring. It's its fastest Pokemon. Hits pretty hard, with Pyro Balls, are pretty spammable against my team. Overall. But also, kind of struggles to, what it wants to do this week. Like, does it want to be a breaker, considering it's this weekend's hardest hitter? Or does it want to, keep things like Sticky Webs off the field, as it is the only form of hazard removal that my opponent has. So I feel like I'm expecting a little bit more of a support set, like pivot, like U-turn, Pyro Ball, Cord Change, fourth move with like boots. Just so that things stays fast and doesn't get affected by Sticky Webs if I choose to break them. Although, since considering most of his team is pretty slow, he might not even, he might not care. He might just run boots just to keep Cinderace nice and fast. From there, let's see. They do have Tinglu, which again, a great hazard support. This thing's super hard to take down. Its only reliable recovery is rest. But you're not ever taking this thing down in one hit unless you're like super boosted up. Belly Pull, I feel like, is a potential bring just because I do have quite a few physical attackers, and Static is pretty free. Get some para hacks on my end. Bombardier, I'm not too sure about what they do. I know they get an ability that gives some Rock Stab and Rocky Payload. But outside of that, it doesn't get like defog. It does get knockoff, which I guess could be good for team support. But we'll see. Articuno, I have a hard time seeing them bringing it just because Cell Rock does a billion to this thing, and it just gets absolutely rocked by Lycanroc pretty much. And it doesn't really do much. Like flying and Ice Stab, I guess, is good, but it doesn't really do much back otherwise. And then Fion is a potential bring with like Take Heart to boost itself up and keep itself healthy. It is the team's only other knockoff user, which is kind of interesting. So I don't think they tech it on Fion. If anything, if they're bringing knockoff, it would have to be on Bombardier primarily, in my opinion. What I think they bring this week, I definitely think Garganackle is coming. I think Cinderace is like forced to come. Ting Lu is also a pretty, um, makes a lot of sense just to keep hazards and take a lot of hits. Belly Bolt, I have a feeling may come, as well as since outside of Terra Electric, Crest is kind of his only way to deal with the Corv outside of like Cinderace as well. So that could be interesting. I think Crest comes with Terra Electric, so those 5 are like, I'm somewhat confident. 4 for sure. Belly Bolts, I think is as a likely. From there, I'm not really sure what he brings us to this 5th mon. Maybe like a Scarf Bombardier could come. Could be interesting. Just to outspeed things like Bombi or even potentially Meloetta in its pirouette form. Cinder Ace is forced to run Jolly because of those things. It doesn't want to get outsped. But I think well, actually, it might not even run. I think it has to run Jolly just to outspeed Lycanroc. If I'm correct, I'm double checking that now. I'm pretty sure it does. So Cinder Ace Adamant hits 337 and like around max speed. Jolly hits 350. So yeah, it has to run Jolly this week, which helps us take hits a little bit better if it's not running Adamant. So yeah, those 5: Garganacl, Crest, Cinder Ace, Ting Lu, Belly Bolt. I think it makes sense. From there, probably Weezing could come. I think Bombardier may come. Sylveon, I don't really think comes. Articuno for sure doesn't come. Fion could make a case for itself. And again, Lilligant, if I'm not mistaken, again, I'm double checking this as I'm making this. I'm pretty sure their main ways to hit are, again, grass type moves, so like Energy Ball, Giga Drain. It does get Quiver Dance. Yeah, it gets like some other moves like Facade, but like they're physical. So this thing, is forced to run Grass Tab, which again, Guja just sits on all day. So I don't think Lilligant makes a lot of sense to come as well. Let's go ahead and break down what we're actually going to be bringing this week. Starting off, we have Tier 3 sub, the Corviknight. Now, Corviknight is super, super good to bring this week. Again, it sits on just so many things on his team. So it's, hard not to bring. Like, with the Corver Cloak, Valkyr isn't doing any residual damage from us, so Garganacl can't 1v1 us. Cresselia has a hard time breaking through Corviknight if it's not running Terra Electric. Sylveon gets sat on. Weezing could come with like Fire Blast, be a potential threat. Again, gets kind of sat on. Cinder Ace can break through this thing. It can kind of sit on Ting Lu. But with the set we're running, Body Press, Iron Defense, Corviknight, beats Garganacl, Ting Lu, things like that. 1v1. I have Roost to keep this thing around for longevity, and then Defog. We're running max physical defense, pretty much max HP, and a little bit extra in attack, just because I think I'm actually going to put that in special defense, just because we don't need our attack set this week. But we are running, again, max defense with an impish nature, just to make sure this thing takes as many hits, as many physical hits as it possibly can. And again, reliably recover with Roost. After an Iron Defense, we can sit on things like Cinder Ace. Again, we sit on things like Garganacl and we 2-shot it with Body Press if it's not running lefties. And just, that thing's forced to sit and recover. As it recovers, we can, Iron Defense further. And just, start doing more damage with Body Presses. Cresselia can kind of sit on us with this set, and, heal up. But again, as we set up, it's not really, taking multiple well. And if it's Terra, it's not Terra Psychic or Terra Fairy, which I don't think he can bring. I think he has to be electric. It's going to be doing, even more damage. Because otherwise, again, we just sit on it. Again, Sylveon doesn't break this since it lost access to Mystical Fire. So overall, its best way to kind of, their best way to kind of hit us is with, special moves like Fire Blast from Weezing. Or maybe even like Fion. But Fion would have to, set up to really do some effective damage. Next up on our team, we're bringing Manny the Mamoswine. We are bringing it with an Assault Vest and the Thick Fat ability, again, to take those fire hits a little bit better from things like Cinderace. We're bringing Icicle Crash, Earthquake, Heavy Slam, and Trailblaze. So after a Trailblaze, We are faster than everything on his team, barring any scarfers. We are even running adamant mask attack. 208 in speed allows for us to outspeed Cinder Ace after the +1 Trailblaze. I'm not really concerned about this thing outspeeding, anything else, just because Crest doesn't really run max speed. Articuno I don't see coming. Yeah, we're slower than Bombardier, but we were slower naturally. Fion max speed, I don't really care to speed tie with it, just because this thing isn't meant to sit on Fion anyway. And then the rest of his team is below base 60. So we are really free to run adamant and just hit us everything as hard as we can. So after +1, we're faster than his entire team. Heavy slam Oko's Sylveon if he chooses to bring in, or if he's Terra Fairy Cresselia, it does like 80%. If I remember that cal correctly. Earthquake just hits everything incredibly hard, and then Icicle Crash is there for Tinglu, Lilligant, Bomb. It hits those things incredibly hard, or like Weezing that's running Levitate. So the goal with Manny again is to just get a Trailblaze up on something like something switching out that doesn't want to stay in, maybe like a Tinglu, and then just be faster than his entire team. Since we are ground type, we're immune to those electric type moves that Belly Bolt might want to come with, and we just rock that thing with Earthquake anyway. Super excited to bring this set again. Trailblaze on Amosine I think is a buff that it really needed, and we're hoping that it puts in a lot of work this week. Next up, we are bringing, of course, our Terra Captain. We have Amarok the Lycanroc, rocking its Life Orb with the Tough Claws ability. Stonage, Accel Rock, Close Combat, Crunch. We are running Max Attack again with an Adamant Nature. 204 speed lets us outspeed, I believe, max speed Lilligant. And then the rest we just kind of threw into HP, just because we don't really need any of our other stats. So again, Terra Rock Lycanroc is incredibly spammable against this team, barring anything called Garganacl, which we have close combat for. Let me run the quick calc. I'm pretty sure it does something ridiculous to Garganacl. Give me 1 sec on that one. But Accel Rock with Life Orb Adamant has a really good chance to Oko has a really strong chance to Oko Cinderace for max HP. So let me pull up those calcs. I had them, and of course, I don't have them. I checked them as I made the team, but of course, I don't remember them off the top of my head now. So Garganacl. Let's see, Curse said. So close combat is doing 75% minimum to Garganacl. Actually, hold on. That is the wrong nature. That's Jolly. So we're doing 82% minimum to Garganacl. So with some chip, Lycanroc really just cleans up. If we go to Cinderace, let's say he's an offensive pivot. Accel Rock Adamant actually has a chance to KO. Oh, that's Choice Band. Sorry. Life Orb. Life Orb. Terra Rock. So actually, we Oko after Terra Rock. If we're not Terra Rock, we have a 94. We do 94 to 112 to Cinderace. So basically, we have a 69% chance to Oko. And then let me go back to Garganacl just so I make sure I have the correct calc. We're doing 72 to 84 to Garganacl. So again, we chipped that thing down a little bit, and Lycanroc just has the potential to clean up. Other things, we kind of get we have to Stonage against we have Stonage for things like Crest. Close combat again hits things like Tinglu incredibly hard. Let's look at Tinglu defensive. If he's max HP, max defense with an Impish. Close combat is doing 54% and 54 to 64%. Again, which unless he's running rest, he can't reliably recover that. And if he is running less rest, we can force the Chesto usage, and he can't really rest again. And and risk having those sleep turns because again, like Lycanroc just comes in and just puts in the finest of work. Crunch, I believe we have for Crest that is a Terra Psychic or has not terrestrialized yet, just to hit that thing a little bit harder. And bulky Crest is just so hard to break through, so this thing's job is not really to worry about Crest, it's to literally break everything else. Moving on, we have Limax the Gudra. Now Gudra is running leftovers on it. We are running Sap Sipper again just to wall things like Lilligant. We don't want that thing, coming getting out of hand. Skull, Draco Meteor, Toxic, Protect. Toxic is primarily for Cresselia, and maybe Tinglu. Cresselia, it can heal that off with its new move. I forget what it's called. I think it's not Lunar Blessing, is it? Cresselia. It is Lunar Blessing. So if it is running Lunar Blessing, it's not recovering as much since it only recovers 1/4. In order to get that heal off the Toxic, which I think could come, but again, it's not something that it wants. It wants to be a lot healthier, and if it's running Lunar Blessing, then that means it's not staying as healthy as it can be. Scald is for things like Cinder Ace, things for like Tinglu. They don't appreciate being burned. Obviously, it's also a way to hit Garganacl. It hits. Those are primarily its things, and then Draco just for general spam. Since again, I don't believe he's bringing Sylveon, so Draco, if it's not Terra Fairy Crest, which I don't think it can be, is pretty free and spammable on his team. Protect is there just for again those like the Tinglus, or if we get a Crest with no Lunar Blessing, just to rack up that toxic damage a little bit further. This thing is running Max XP, Match Defense with a Bold Nature to allow it to take things like hits from Cinderace, again, that little bit better. And then Leftovers just gives us general recovery. Again, with Protect, we can heal up a little bit more as the battle goes on, since he doesn't have knockoff users that are super reliable. Unless, again, he brings Bombardier. Lefties are there to stay. So this thing's job, again, is just prevent a Lilligant sweep if it decides to come, which again I don't think it can. And then just spread burns or spread toxics throughout his entire team. Next up, we have we're bringing Bloat the Quillfish, rocking the Black Sludge with the Intimidate ability, Waterfall, Toxic, Taunt, and Flip Turn. So this thing is meant to specifically sit on Cinderace. Toxic plus Taunt. It could be good for Cresselia. We don't take the special hits super well, but in an off chance we need to, Toxic it, plus make sure it can't heal itself. Quillfish kind of fits that bill. Waterfall is just for general spam. Hits hits Cinderace, hits Garganacl for super effective damage. This thing kind of gets walled by Wheezing, but that's fine. We have Flip Turn to pivot out. So yeah, even with an Intimidate up on Cinderace, it's only doing like anywhere between 28 to 35% to us, which isn't greatest since Quillfish can't reliably recover outside of its Black Sludge. But again, Cinderace doesn't want to. This thing can come in reliably and Flip Turn out into something better, just because Cinderace won't want to take a Waterfall from this thing. Lastly on the team, we needed another special attacker, considering we have 4 physical attackers for this week. So we're bringing Harmony the Meloetta. I forgot to nickname her Harmony. Harmony the Meloetta with Leftovers, rocking the Serene Grace ability, Psychic, Focus Blast, Shadow Ball, Calm Mind. We have 192 in speed, 5 max special attack with a Timid Nature, and then the rest in HP. So this thing is only built to be faster with 192 with a Timid Nature than max speed Bombardier. Since I don't believe he's bringing, again, Lilligant, I don't feel like the need to be faster than it. After our Calm Mind, we're hitting everything incredibly hard. Psychic is just super spammable against this team. Barring, again, Bombardier. And Tinglu. Focus Blast is there for Garg and Tinglu. And then Shadow Ball is there for, again, a crest that hasn't terrestrialized. Once it does Terra, Psychic is just better general stab. After our Calm Mind, this thing has the potential to just kind of break through everything. If it's a Calm Mind crest, I can Calm Mind alongside it, so that way, you know, it doesn't have an easy time taking us down. As well as if it's terrestrialized, we can, you know, potentially again out win the Cresselia, right? So that's the team for this week. If you guys enjoyed, please consider, you know, leaving me a comment or leaving me a like on the video. Super excited again to be making content for this league. We will have the battle likely after the team builder goes up, or after, you know, everything gets done. If not the day next tomorrow, Monday, I'll try to have the battle up for everybody. So that's gonna be it for me today, guys. Again, let me know how I can improve these videos. It means a lot to me. And we will catch you guys in the next time. We'll see ya.